All right, so this is my personal finance portfolio. I am doing this in coordination with NGPF and their personal finance, doing a Google site. And so I wanted to just kind of show you just a quick visual of what this looks like and how to start this process. And so as you see here on the screen, you've got a portfolio that I've made, and you can see that this is our what we call our home page. And over here on the left is the area where things can be clicked on, as well as along the way you've got some links that you can click, and anything that you see in blue typically is a link, a hyperlink to another page or an external resource. So as I scroll down, these are 12 topics that my students in my personal finance class we deal with. And then because I am doing this for NGPF, I'm also doing this to help teachers understand how to integrate NGPF materials into their own personal finance portfolio if they choose to do so. So as you can see down at the bottom, I am in North Carolina, so we are using North Carolina personal finance standards, but I typically try to make sure that those standards are within the coursework as we go. And then any resources to consider, those are a drop-down list. And then we also have some video stuff that I'm actually doing now. And at the bottom, you can see the information. So what I want to do is just show you the basics of how to do this. So each one is an actual page that has its own unique idea of what it's dealing with. And so, for example, if we're doing budgeting and debt, this is our big one that we do in my class. And so we actually use NGPF's material with, for example, the salary-based budgeting worksheet, which is a wonderful opportunity for students to actually create their own budget based on a chosen career field. And then we talk about emergency funds and debt repayment, renting, any of the utilities, and then we actually plan a budget for a senior road trip. And then this is some more of the resources. So for example, if I click down, you can see a couple of resources that I encourage my teachers to utilize in NGPF. So let's get started, because one of the things is that this looks overwhelming, but if you put it into a lot easier of a scenario where you're just doing it in increments, including for the students, it's scaffolding, right? So you're building what we call a framework or a shell. And then once you have the shell created, then every page is now more of a assignment driven. All right, this is part of our portfolio. This is part of our project-based learning. So it's just a lot easier. So I'm going to just show you today quickly how to do a shell with doing this. So I'm going to go into my Google Sites, and again, the nice thing about Google Sites is it coordinates with a lot of other of the Google resources, Google Suites, and so you can use a template. I actually like using just a new site, a blank site, because I don't have to worry about closing out or getting rid of something else that is already there. So I'm just going to open up a new site here, and then this is the main page title. So there's a couple things that you can use at first. If you notice here at the right hand side, you've got the insert, which you have a lot of options here. You've got content blocks. You actually have collapsible groups, which you just saw in there. You got a table of contents, all this kind of stuff over to the side. But you also have the ability to put in new pages, which we'll do here in just a second. But the first thing I want to show you is the theme. And so the theme is kind of a neat way. And if you notice here, I've got several different themes that I can get to. I do have the ability to import a theme or even create a theme. So if I click on create a theme, I can go into a little bit more detail. I've got a lot of options here, so it's a lot of fun. And if you have students that are really creative and want to go deep dive into this, this is a great way to do it. However, I like the diplomat theme, so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to just stay with the green theme here for the way in which the finance realm goes. You can actually click on your own grouping of colors, and then font style, I keep classic as well, but you can do that as well. So one of the other things that we're going to do first is we're going to just make sure we title the site. So I'm just going to call it Dr. T's Portfolio. All right, and then if you click off of it, you notice that it goes up to the top here, and then on my page title, I can go into a little bit more detail if I want to, but we're just going to keep it simple for the time being, if I can spell it. Portfolio. All right. So then you also have the ability on the background, especially if on every page that you have a header type. You can make it a large banner. You can make it title only. You can make it a cover. It's up to you on how you want to do it. I typically keep it as a banner. And so you can also create an image. So you can upload your own personal image, or you can select an image from Google. So we're just going to go to Google Images. I'm going to type in finance and see what we've got. So our first one here looks kind of fun. So we're just going to put finance in there. And I've got a couple of things. You notice it says adjustable for reading. You can remove that, but it just makes it a little tougher. You can also anchor that image to make it go a little bit different of a scenario wherever you want it to go. So those are the basic line part. The other thing that I typically have my students do at the beginning is add a footer. And what this footer does is allows you to have that same thing that you put down there on every single page. And so that's really kind of nice. So for this, because it's a portfolio and this is something that they hopefully will utilize as a knowledge base for years to come, hopefully, I do actually have them put in like a personal email. And again, we'll talk about the privacy issues here in just a little bit, but they can just put a personal email. So for me, I'm just going to, put in something there. Okay. So you'll notice that at the bottom here this is across the board. Anytime you have a text feature, you have the ability to have your title. You can change the different fonts that you have. You can see the more fonts there. And you've got a different ways of scrolling down. So lots of different options, including the ability to change the link overall. So you got to highlight it. And, you can do different things with it, bold it, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of different options with the text features. Now, one of the cool things is that will go on to every single page the same way that you see it. It'll go down at the bottom, which is nice. All right, before we start making our pages, a couple things I want to point out that are just good to know. First off, up top here, you're going to have the preview button. If you click on the preview, it's going to say, okay, this is what it looks like, what people would see overall. You can see it on a phone, you can see it on a tablet or a computer. So I'm going to click off of that. And hopefully, if it will allow me to click off. All right, we're going to delete that out of there. Okay, there we go. I'll drag that guy, ugly mug, over. Okay, the other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your settings are just checked. Just look at it. The only thing that really in the settings that matters is your mode, whether or not you want that, that top area to be on the side or the top. I kind of like it on the side. That's me. And then you could put where it's white, black, or transparent. I typically keep it transparent, but that it just allows this line right here to be where it is. So those are the quick features of that. Then I would go ahead and have you publish it. And the reason we're going to start this now is because you'll be able to get the link later, and I'll be able to show you the link here in just a second. So this publish, let's just say Dr. T's portfolio. You notice that this site right here is where it's being hosted. And so you see this web address is that last little bit. And every page that you have, it'll actually add a page to that web address. So you can actually say, hey, I want it to go straight to that page. So for example, when I have my kids go straight to their assignment, that, okay, you're going to submit your career. Well, I don't want you to submit the home page. I want you to submit the career. And so I'll show them how to do that. So if you notice that anybody can view my site, well, right now we want to, so we're in the Lenore County Public Schools, but for right now, I'm going to restrict this. Now, one of the things that is nice, this is a security feature. You can actually have your students just share it with you. Obviously, you've got to get all the permissions correct with that. Or you can have it go straight to whatever your tech people have designated as acceptable. I'm going to put public for me right now. And the reason I'm going to put public is so obviously you can see some of the stuff as well. And if I all right, so another part of this is that when you go back to the publish, once it's there, you can actually go to publish settings, and you can see again, request public search engines don't display. Editors must review changes before publishing. And I always like to have that because I want to see that it did have a different of a change. But what that does mean, though, is that students actually have to republish this link. So again, this link right here is where you have this. You can see the home. Once you have a new page, it'll be going to that, and you can always get that particular page. All right, so we're going to start it out where we have our pages, and we're going to create a page. And again, we're starting this process of creating the shell. It's really important that we understand this, because for the students, it's one of those things that they get confused on. So if you just hit this plus button, and then we're going to, the first one that I typically do is called career. And so you can get advanced, you can do a custom path. We're not going to go into that, but it does allow that to happen. Now, if you notice that when it creates the career, it does have the same look as the home. You can always go back and forth between it, and that's nice. And then you can create your own image again and do something different. Now, you notice that this edit footer here is really nice because it can have that same one on all of it. So what we're doing is we're creating the template that every other page is going to be set up on. I have my kids create 12 pages that are separate, that are each one is its own unique part of a personal finance topic. And so I actually have them go ahead and create these. But the reason that I do it like this is I want them to have one specific thing on it. And if you notice on the right hand side, there's no way to get back from this page to the home page. And I always think that's important. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the insert, and I'm going to scroll down and hit a button. This button, I'm just going to call it home. And if you notice, if I click on this, I can get the link for the home, but I'd rather just create the home site. And so if I click on that, it will automatically give me that. I can drag this over to the middle. I can extend it out just a little bit. However I want to make it, I can have a different fill on it. Matter of fact, over here, if you notice that every one of these has the ability to have a different style. I can make it fun, different images. All of that is a part of that. But once I create the look that I like, then the nice thing is I'm going to create the pages from that point on. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create just a couple of pages just so you can have that ability there. So if you go over on the right hand side, you see the three little hamburger lines here. If you click on it, you can actually say, I want to duplicate this page. You can go ahead, and all I'm going to do is the next one in line, maybe just put banking. All right. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to put that where it says banking. Now, if you notice, everything's the same. So the one thing I do need to do is I need to actually change the title so that it fits. Okay. And so one of the things that I would encourage you to do is help your students with I have a Canvas course that I have them do it in, and a module. And I actually start with this creation site first, and we walk through this process. And I actually have them do it with me so that everybody has the same basic flow and framework. Now, if I needed to move this up, I could actually just take that and just move it up and down there. If I needed to change it, I could come over here, and if I hit properties, I could go and change that site again. So again, we're going to do this one more time. We're going to go to duplicate page, the next one down. Let's just say we're going to do credit, and I'm going to hit done. Boom, it creates the credit. I'm going to come over here, credit, and then we're good. Okay, so that gives us at least 3 to work with. I'm going to come back to my home page, and you notice it says portfolio. Now, this is where I start to add in the look, all right? So if I go back to my main page, you notice I have a picture over here with some text over here. So I'm going to come over to insert, and up here is some ones that are already created for you. It's content. Now you can create your own, but it's just a lot easier to just do this one. So this is, if you notice that on my side, I have the About Me section. So I'm just going to put About Me, And then in my creation site, I actually have them put in a professional looking picture, because if they were doing a resume, I also have them do something that's like a brag sheet or I love me folder. One of those are very important to me, because this is an important aspect of keeping record and accountability of some of the things that we have. I'll show you that here in just a second. And so one of the things, we come over here, if we have an upload image, we can put in our own image. Let's just say I've got a button of me that I like. And so I like that. Now it's a little bit less, so I can drag into different portions of that button. If I needed to put something else, I could. I can crop it. I could do different aspects there. I can even insert a link. So that's the nice thing. If I wanted to actually link to a particular image, I could come over to either my career site or link there. And I can also use Command or Control K if I needed to. If I click off on it and I hit Command Control K, that will open that up. So that's one way to do that. That's inserting that. Now, if I wanted to do, say, for example, a divider, I just click on my divider. And if I wanted to do it between there, I could take this little thing and drag it up, and there's some divider issues there. I can make it a different color if I needed to, or I can even do a spacer. So if I put a spacer there, you notice that my space can be now styled a little different, and I can take my divider and put it in a different place, or I could just delete it. Okay, so those are different options. You notice that I can't do anything with that in there. I could remove that, so that'll remove the whole divider. If I Command or Control Z, that'll replace it back in, or I could use these features up here, redo and undo. So if you notice on my main one, if you scroll down, I have 4 portions there. So all I have my students do is put one over those in. I have them drag it down. And then let's just say I want to select an image that is going to be from Google Images. And let's just say that was from my career site. And so we're just going to choose a career one, insert into that block right there. I'm going to type in career, make it a little bit bigger, maybe a title. I can do different options with that, make it bold, however I want to do. And then, again, one of the things I can do, and I always have them do, is Command C Command K, and that will go to that. Or you could use this little link right there. That's the hyperlink. So if I click on that and I click on it again, it will just click on the image. So see, it'll click on the whole thing. And if I just click on that, it'll just click on the image. So then I come back to that, and now I have applied my career. If I want to see it, I come into my preview site. And if I click on that, boom, it'll take me over to my career. On the left-hand side, you can see my list of where I can go back and forth between those, or I could use my home. So it's very, very simple to ways that you can create this. And again, once you're done with it, all you do is click on the little button down the side, and that will take you back to the main part here. Again, if you notice, if I were to click on this link and copy the published link, I'm gonna put it in a new dashboard here, and I put it in. It's only going to have the main one because I did not publish it again. So if I click on publish, you'll notice that it will have me, here's currently published, here's the draft. I'm going to publish that one. And now if I come back over to this one and I refresh my page here, I should be able to now have that. And it will here in just a second. But that is a very quick, very easy way to create a Google Drive. And hopefully it's something that will help you to see this from a visual standpoint. It's a very easy way for students to have this ability to create a Google site or website and a portfolio that I believe really does do a good job with taking all of their information together. And again, one of the things that's really important is that you can see how this is created in a step-by-step process. And if you want to look at that from a different perspective, I'm going to bring over a Google Drive that you can see that with. And maybe not that one. This is that one right here. And so you're going to see that this is a PDF of the creation lesson that I do. So you can see this is in Canvas. I do have a module, but it walks through students through each of the pages of what they have to do and where they're responsible for. So for example, the budgeting and debt, you can see quite a bit. These are, this is an NGPF worksheet that we've done and what it would look like. I always give an example of what mine looks like and then what are they responsible for. And so I've also got a Google Doc that walks that through so that you could actually do this if you wanted to take this for your own and adjust to fit your own needs. So that is Dr. T's personal finance portfolio and what I do for this particular site and why it's so important, in my opinion, to do a portfolio because of the way in which students can use it for later on in their career.